When I was in high school, I learned about derivatives and differentiation in math class. I got the feeling that this was an important concept, and my teachers often talked about it being a very fundamental part of math and physics. But it really didn't click for me at the time. I learned how to do it and how to solve the problems to pass the exams, but the concept was quite strange to me. And maybe it was to you too. It wasn't until university, where I studied engineering, that it started to dawn on me how strong this concept actually is. So much of our lives today is impacted by science, which wouldn't be possible without the concept of derivatives. I think fundamentally, it is wrong that so many of us get familiar with this concept as a purely mathematical concept before ever realizing the incredible real-world strength of it. I remember thinking, why are slopes so important? And what can I use it for in the real world? In this video, I will explain the core concept of what derivatives actually are. In a way, I wish I would have learned it back in high school. But more importantly, I will bridge the gap between pure mathematics and real-world physics and show you why slopes are actually so important to understanding the world we live in. Let's get started. Imagine we have a pendulum on a hinge, which has some friction. We take the pendulum bob, raise it, and let it go. The pendulum will swing back and forth until it is back at its resting position. To understand this mechanical system, we first of all need a way to describe the bob's position. The position of the bob is determined by the angle of the pendulum, let's call that theta of t, and let's call the length of the pendulum L. If we say that the hinge is at the coordinate 0.0, the x position of the bob can be described by L times sine of theta of t. The y position is then minus L times cosine of theta of t. Now we have two expressions describing the position of the bob. Let's plot the x position of the oscillation we just saw before. If we want to create a model of this system, which we always want to do, since this gives us the power to simulate and analyze the system without ever having to build it in reality, we have to somehow be able to describe more than just the position. If you think about it, the position is the end result of the motion. What actually determines the movement or the dynamics of the bob is actually the acceleration. But before we can say anything about the acceleration though, we need to know something about the velocity. This is where the derivatives come in. So what is velocity? Velocity is the change in position to some time. It is also in which direction you are changing position. So in contrast to speed, which for example is shown in your car speedometer, velocity has information about direction. Okay, so how do we figure out what the change in position is? We can start by just looking at our position graph. The first obvious thing to do is to take 2 points on the graph and calculate the change in position and the change in time by subtracting. Let's draw a line between the 2 points as well. If the bob would have traveled like this straight line here, we would already know its velocity in this region. A straight position line has a constant speed. In other words, the change in position is constant. But as we can clearly see, the bob did not move straight. So how do we determine its velocity at every time instant? First, we can definitely realize that its velocity has to be changing constantly. So by the end of this, we should be able to create a velocity plot, and it should not be a flat line. Intuitively, we could just decrease the distance between the 2 points we made, right? Here we really get into the core idea, because even though we try to decrease the distance, we are still left with the 2 points. And as long as we have 2 points, we also have some distance between us where we're not correcting our position plot from the line. So what do? We take the limit. This allows us to let the distance go towards 0, and in essence, it becomes infinitely small. What we're left with here is actually the tangent line for the position graph at exactly our chosen point. This tangent line is actually what we need because it has a slope, and its slope is the velocity. It has the change in position at exactly this time, and also the sign of the slope tells us if we are moving in the positive or negative direction. So we have established now that we need to figure out the slope of the tangent line to the position graph at every time instant. But this surely would be easier if we could do this just by formulating a function like we did with the position. This is exactly what the derivatives let us do. So if we take the derivative of our x position function from before with regards to t, we get a new function. This function then tells us what the velocity of our bob is. Let's create a velocity plot underneath our position plot. Notice that when the tangent is flat, this is where the position of the bob starts going in the other direction, and the velocity is 0 here. We can now do this again, taking the derivative of the velocity function. We would then get the slope of the tangent of the velocity plot. This is the change in velocity. We also call this acceleration. What we did here was deriving the kinematics of the pendulum. This in itself is not enough to actually be able to simulate and predict movement of the pendulum, but it's a very, very important step. Derivatives are not just finding velocities and accelerations, but it helps us describe any system that changes, whether that be quantum mechanics, heat exchange, structural design, basically everything. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.